Alrighty guys, welcome back to another video. So these are all some of the best gym milestones ranked on a tier list, and I know all of you have at least experienced a couple of these where, you know, you discover your first ever bicep vein, you get your first ever compliment. One of your family members comes up and notices that you've put on a bit of size, whatever it may be. Everyone's experienced these different milestones throughout their gym journey, and we're going to be ranking them on a tier list today as to which one's the biggest compliment. So starting at the top with you've completed gym and going all the way down to average satisfaction. All right, so first up we have is filling out your first ever lifting shirt. So hopefully a lot of you guys have experienced this like I have, where you've started going to the gym with certain sort of shirts. You get a few months into the gym and you're starting to feel that the shirt is getting tighter and tighter to the point where it's like you need to go up sizes or wear a different shirt to the gym. And trust me, this is not because you're putting it into the wash too many times and it's shrinking. It's actually because you're growing. Pretty good achievement in my opinion. This is a little bit of reassurance that you're actually progressing in the gym. So I'm going to put this in. I'm going to put in great achievement. All right, next up we have is compliments from family and friends. Now, you know, the family gatherings, you go to a Christmas dinner and someone makes a little remark or a comment on the fact that you've put on a bit of size.
I'm out the way, going straight coming
I've got
through.
things to do. You can get your big head out the kitchen. Got to put up with this all day, bro.
I've got to put up with being around non-anabolic pussies.
So it does feel good when you have your mum notice that you've been going to the gym and you've put on a bit of size. It's a great feeling. So I'm going to put it in good feeling. All right, next up we have is getting your first ever bicep vein. Now, I can't personally remember when I got my first bicep vein, to be honest, probably because I bulked up for quite a long period of time. It took me a while before I actually saw my first bicep vein. When you stay a decently lean body fat and this comes through, it does feel good. When you get your sort of first signs of vascularity, it's a bit of a statement if someone sees like a bicep vein through your arm. This guy is decently more lean than the average person, obviously goes to the gym. It's a good feeling. I'm going to put it in great achievement. To get your first ever bicep vein opens the doors to the possibilities of how people will notice your physique in day-to-day life. Next up we have is achieving your first ever 2-plate bench. Getting 100 kilos on bench, it's a great feeling. I believe for me, because I bulked up and I put on heaps of strength in quite a short period as well, I hit about a 3-plate bench in my first 10 months, and I think I hit 2 plates not too long before that. I think it was about 4 months before. So I remember hitting 100 kilos on bench. 140 just seemed absolutely impossible because just being able to do 1 rep of 100 is hard enough, and then just envisioning doing 140 was just so far gone in my eyes. But then I got there quite fast as well because I bulked up and put on a bit of size too to get there. Reaching 100 kilos is a great benchmark, opening the doors to where you can get to. So I'm going to put it in good feeling. All right, next up we have is when random people start to look you up and down when you're sort of just talking to them. So people sort of just start to recognize your physique wearing normal clothes and just in person generally. I think this is actually a great feeling. It's sort of that subconscious boost of confidence when someone sort of, when they think you're not looking, but you can see them in your peripheral vision that they're looking at your physique a bit. This is actually a great feeling, especially just in general conversation, and you notice they like take a quick glance. It shows that, you know, people are starting to recognize that you take good care of your body and you look after yourself. I'm gonna put in great achievement as well. Next up we have is getting the first compliment from the big guy in the gym. Now, this is usually the juice head regular that you sort of see passing by in the gym. He comes up to you sometime, you might have said hello here and there, but he comes up and he makes a remark or a compliment about you putting on size or strength. And this is a pretty heartwarming thing to hear from the big guy at the gym, to say that you're making progress, you're going places in the gym with your gym journey. Great compliment to hear, great feeling overall. I'm gonna put this up in once thought impossible. And what I mean by once thought impossible is, you know, you never thought this was gonna happen, but it did. All right, next up we have is the 3-plate bench. Now, this is also going up in once thought impossible because I remember I looked at this milestone and I just thought there's just no way I'm ever going to achieve this. You know, here we are. I'm now maxing out 160 kilos for 2 reps at about 80 kilos body weight. weight, which is 2x body weight bench, is quite a big achievement. And I remember getting 3-plate bench at about 10 months into my training. It was very, very satisfying to finally hit a milestone that I just thought was impossible, honestly. And it just seems so far away at the time. When you hit 2 plates and you're envisioning 3 plates, it just seems like, how am I possibly going to build up the strength to be able to move that weight? But it does happen. Getting 2 plates is like, you're pretty into the gym. Getting 3 plates is like, you're pretty serious into the gym. That's when you have to have your diet dialed in, you know, your sleep and recovery dialed in, your consistency as well, and you're progressively overloading. You have to have those aspects of your life very fine-tuned to be able to reach this milestone. But it's a great feeling as well. And I remember it felt amazing to finally hit that 3-plate bench. All right, next up we have is a 4-plate squat. Squats for me, I started out doing Smith machine squats, and then I moved on to barbell squats. And similar sort of thing, it kept my leg days motivating to always strive to get stronger with squats. At my peak, I maxed out squat 210 kilos, which is not bad in my eyes. You do really learn to love legs when you're progressing with squats. Hitting a 4-plate squat is a great feeling. The equivalency of hitting 4-plate squat, I reckon, would probably be, I guess it's kind of like a 3-plate bench. I think a 3-plate bench is probably a little bit better than a 4-plate squat in terms of how hard it is to achieve, but it's a great feeling. Hitting a 4-plate squat, I'm gonna put this up in, I'm gonna put in great achievement. All right, next up we have is when someone compliments you on your strength. I have a perfect scenario for this. I was at the Lift London Gymshark event. I remember seeing this group of guys on the flat bench struggling to lift up the 50 kilos and like being real shaky, needing their mates to come over and help them lift them up and like getting a couple reps out. I wasn't doing this to be egotistical. I genuinely wanted to use the 50 kilo dumbbells, and I chucked it up on shoulder press and I just started repping the 50 kilos out for shoulder press, and they were just flabbergasted that I could do that. I was a lot lighter than them as well, so I think they were just amazed that I could just get them up myself and just rep out the 50s. Yeah, that was the best feeling. They like clapped me at the end. It's a great feeling, I guess, when people acknowledge that you're actually a pretty strong dude and you can move some serious weight. I feel like this is one of the best feelings when someone acknowledges your strength, to be honest. So I'm gonna put it up in completed gym. All right, next up we have is maxing out your gym dumbbells. Now, whenever you go to a commercial gym, most of the time they max out at 50 kilos. When you finally progress to the stage where you can move those 50 kilos, it's a great feeling. Come to the stage where you're like, I don't know if I need to go to a bodybuilding gym now or something that goes up to 70s, because you feel like you've gotten to the point where it's like, where do I go from here? What I do personally is any commercial gym I go to that only maxes out at 50 kilos, I'll literally just start getting exercise bands and strapping on 2.5 kilos each side to make them 55. And I've done that many times as well. Still, to be able to have the opportunity to progressively overload in the gym, I feel like literally everyone can achieve this at some stage through their gym journey as well. I'm gonna put it in good feeling. All right, next up we have is maxing out the dumbbells for shoulder press. Now, this is something that you don't see so often, is someone being able to go up to the dumbbell rack, grab the 50s, and then lift it over their head. I get a lot more heads turned when I'm shoulder pressing 50s than just flat benching 50s. I've seen 40-year-old dads with 20% body fat be able to flat bench the 50s sort of without problems. Once you can get to the stage where you can shoulder press the 50s, that's when you sort of get those people turning their head and being like, oh shit, that guy is not fucking around. He means some serious business. Being able to max out your gym's dumbbells, especially for shoulder press, pretty good achievement. I'm gonna put it up in once thought impossible, to be honest. All right, next up we have is when your mum compliments you and says that you're looking too bulky. Now, this is her way of saying that you're putting on size, but she might not just say you're looking very muscly. For me, she says I'm looking very bulky, and usually too bulky. There's a compliment in there, but you just gotta sort of fish around for it. When your mum gives you a compliment and says that you're looking quite muscular in her own way, it's a good feeling. You know you've made your parents proud in the aspect of being a fit person, so I think it's very heartwarming to hear. I'm gonna put it in great achievement. All right, next up we have is when people at work, school, uni start to notice that you lift, so they might make a remark to say that they'll ask you to move something for them. They'll say, oh, get the big guy to do it, or something like that, along those lines. This is a great feeling when you're just in a day-to-day environment and people are acknowledging that the work that you're putting in outside of work or school or uni or whatever is being recognized. So I'm gonna put it in good feeling. All right, next up we have is having your first ever steroid accusation. I think for me, obviously I'm a lifetime natty. I think for me, cutting down and getting leaner is when I got the most amount of steroid accusations, or people just mentioning like in passing, oh, have you jumped on or something? You know, you're looking really vascular or you're looking really lean. That is a great feeling. That's when you really sort of get to the point where it's like, wow, I must have some pretty seriously good genetics for people to think that I'm enhanced when I'm not. I think this is one of the best feelings, to be honest. When people start accusing you of enhancements, I think it's honestly almost like you've completed gym. I'm gonna put it up in completed gym. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed my tier list, I know I didn't really put anything down in average satisfaction. If I was to move some of these around, maybe the 2-plate bench I'd put down in average satisfaction if I was to move it. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new. And if you want to cop any of my first ever merch drop, go to the link in the description if you want to support the channel and support me. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.